50 to 70 warships, more than 150 aircraft, over 27,000 personnel, all patrolling an expanse of ocean so vast it touches half the world's population, 124 million square kilometers. This is not just the largest forward fleet in the United States Navy. It is the front line of American power in the Indo Pacific, commanded by Vice Admiral Pat Hannifin. But how does sheer scale translate into constant, combat-ready force? The answer starts here. Numbers on a page only hint at the reality. At any given time, the 7th Fleet fields between 50 and 70 ships and submarines, more than some entire navies. These vessels range from nimble destroyers to massive amphibious assault ships, all ready for action, far from American shores. More than 150 aircraft operate with the fleet, providing everything from fighter cover and air patrols to maritime surveillance and anti-submarine warfare. Supporting this force is a community of more than 27,000 sailors and Marines. Each one is trained, deployed, and sustained thousands of miles from home. The fleet's ships and crews do not rotate in and out from the continental United States. Instead, they are based forward, living and working in the region they defend. This posture means the 7th Fleet can respond in hours, not weeks. The scale is not just impressive, it is operational. These numbers are not static. They represent a living, breathing force that is always in motion, always ready. The sheer volume of ships, aircraft, and personnel sets a baseline for what it means to be the largest forward-deployed fleet in the United States Navy. But the question remains, why is so much power concentrated so far from home waters? The answer lies in the geography and the demands of a region where distance, speed, and presence can decide the outcome of any crisis. Stretching from the international dateline to the Indian subcontinent, and from the icy waters of the Kuril Islands down to the edge of Antarctica, the 7th Fleet's area of responsibility covers more than 124 million square kilometers. That is nearly twice the landmass of all the world's continents combined. Within these boundaries lie 36 maritime nations and nearly half of the world's population. This vast expanse is not just a map challenge, it is a test of command and presence. In such a region, events can unfold in minutes, and the margin for error shrinks as distance grows. The difference between deterrence and disaster can hinge on the speed of a single decision. To meet this demand, the Navy does not rely on remote control from Washington. Instead, command authority lives in theater, led by a 3-star admiral with the power to act on the spot. Vice Admiral Pat Hannifin, the current commander, carries the responsibility for every ship, aircraft, and sailor operating in this immense domain. His headquarters, forward-based in Yokosuka, Japan, places the nerve center of the fleet within reach of the region's flashpoints. This is not just about oversight. It is about real-time leadership, where a crisis in the South China Sea or the Taiwan Strait requires answers in seconds, not days. The geography of the Indo Pacific demands a fleet that can think and act at the speed of unfolding events. With a resident commander empowered to make rapid decisions, the 7th Fleet transforms its size into something far more potent, a force that is not only present, but ready to respond the moment it is needed. USS George Washington sits at the heart of the 7th Fleet's striking power. Homeported in Yokosuka, Japan, this Nimitz-class aircraft carrier is not just a symbol, it is a forward-deployed asset with real, measurable advantages. Its permanent presence in the region saves an average of 17 days in transit compared to carriers based in the continental United States. In a crisis, that difference is decisive. The George Washington leads a carrier strike group that can include up to 12 ships and 75 aircraft. This group is a floating AI airbase, a missile platform, and a command hub all in one. Its air wing brings fighters, early warning planes, and helicopters ready for air superiority, maritime strikes, and anti-submarine missions. Guided missile destroyers and cruisers sail alongside, forming a defensive shield and adding their own offensive punch. The carrier's role is not limited to launching jets. It projects power across the world's busiest sea lanes, deters adversaries, and reassures allies from the deck of a single ship. The George Washington's forward deployment means the 7th Fleet can launch operations on short notice without waiting for reinforcements to cross the Pacific. This speed and reach are what set the fleet apart. The carrier group's constant readiness is not theoretical. It is baked into daily life in Yokosuka, where sailors and families live side by side with the city's residents, and the ship stands ready to get underway at a moment's notice. Readiness is a daily routine. In this part of the world, the carrier's forward presence is the difference between reacting and shaping events. USS Blue Ridge has served as the 7th Fleet's flagship since October 1979, operating from Yokosuka, Japan. On paper, it looks like just another ship, but its real value is invisible, hidden in the networks of cables, antennas, and computers that fill every deck. Blue Ridge is the fleet's brain. Its command, control, communications, computers, and intelligence systems, called C4I, turn scattered ships and aircraft into a single coordinated force. Inside, hundreds of sailors and staff manage a constant stream of information. Satellite links, encrypted radios, and the global command and control system pull in data from across the region, giving the admiral and his staff a real-time view of every contact in the air, on the surface, and below the waves. The flagship's design minimizes interference, keeping signals clear even as it processes thousands of messages each day. This is where orders are written, battle plans refined, and crises managed. But Blue Ridge's power does not stand alone. At any time, the 7th Fleet fields between 10 and 14 guided missile cruisers and destroyers, many based in Yokosuka and others rotating in from Hawaii or San Diego. Each of these ships brings its own arsenal: Tomahawk land attack missiles, standard air defense missiles, and advanced ballistic missile defense systems. Most are equipped with the Aegis Combat System, a networked radar and fire control suite that can track and shoot down threats from hundreds of miles away. When these surface combatants operate together, they form a layered shield around the carrier strike group and the fleet's high-value units. The result is a density of firepower per ship unmatched by most navies in the world. In practice, Blue Ridge's command and control links every missile tube, every radar, and every ship into a responsive web. The brain and the shooters move as one, ready to launch or defend at a moment's notice. This is how the 7th Fleet turns raw numbers into real, coordinated combat power. Below the surface, the 7th Fleet's most unpredictable force moves in silence. At any given time, 8 to 12 nuclear-powered attack submarines operate somewhere within the fleet's vast domain. Their locations are never disclosed, and their missions are rarely discussed. Each one carries a mix of torpedoes and Tomahawk cruise missiles, able to strike ships at sea or targets ashore without warning. The simple fact that these submarines could be anywhere in 124 million square kilometers changes the calculus for any potential adversary. No one can be certain which shipping lane, strait, or coastline might already be under watch. This uncertainty is the essence of undersea deterrence. The knowledge that a hidden threat could surface at any moment forces caution, slows aggression, and buys time for decision-makers on both sides. The 7th Fleet's submarine force does not need to be seen to be effective. It only needs to be possible. In the Indo Pacific, that possibility is always present. Awareness and endurance turn numbers into real power. In December 2013, the arrival of the P-8A Poseidon marked a leap forward for the fleet's eyes and ears. Today, between 16 and 20 of these advanced reconnaissance aircraft patrol the Indo Pacific, sweeping thousands of miles with radar, sonobuoys, and sensors that can spot a submarine or surface contact in any weather. This networked vigilance closes the gaps between ships and submarines, turning scattered units into a single, informed force. But constant presence depends on more than sensors. Nearly 50 logistics ships, commanded from Singapore, form a supply chain that keeps warships fueled, armed, and fed for months at sea. This backbone, quiet and unheralded, converts presence into staying power. In the 7th Fleet, information and logistics are not just support. They are the difference between being on station and being decisive. Today, the 7th Fleet's 27,000 sailors, 50 to 70 warships, and 150 aircraft remain on station every hour, every day, across an expanse touching half the world's population. As regional tensions rise, the measure of deterrence is not just size, but constant presence. Power in the Indo-Pacific is never theoretical. It is always operational.